Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And welcome back, everyone. We've talked before with her about interior design, about remodeling, and today we're going to focus on remodeling for resale. Interesting, because right away my mind goes into, well, I want to get it done as cost effective as possible to get the most out of it on the back end when you sell. We're going to pick her brain today. She is an amazing interior designer, and she's back with us. Marcia Moore is here on the program. How you doing?
I am doing well. Thank you. Good to
Welcome
be
back here. Yeah, good to have you
Thanks.
back here. Is remodeling different than remodeling for resale?
Definitely can be, depending on how long you plan on staying in your home. One of the first conversations I have with people is, how long do you plan to live here? If you are going to remodel with the thought of, I'm going to put my house on the market next spring, then that conversation is totally different than if you say, this is our home for about 5 years and then we're going to be moving, or you tell me you're going to live here forever. So it totally depends on where you are on that continuum as to what the conversation is about remodeling with resale in mind.
Is there a time frame that changes? Yeah, we're going to remodel it, but we're looking in a year to sell or 3 years to sell. Big difference there in the swing of what you do?
For 1 to 3 years, not so much, but 1 to 5 years, yeah. Let's say you're going to remodel a kitchen. If you're doing a major kitchen remodel, that's a lot of money, and it takes about 10 years to recoup that cost of money in the home pricing. So if you're going to be moving under 5 years, then I would talk about a minor kitchen remodel as opposed to a full-blown kitchen remodel. So.
And we're not in, when you talk about 10 years to recoup, we're not even talking about the market. My gosh, current real estate market, if we went back 5 years, radically different than 3 years ago, radically
Correct.
2 years ago than
Yeah.
where it is now, at least here in the New York area.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, crazy.
It is here too. So you can never predict what the market is going to be. You can only do the best you can with the information you have at the time.
Right.
So, yeah.
So what's our starting point in remodeling for resale?
So I'm going to first start out with the top 5 things you can do that will help you sell your house for more money. And number 1 on that list is the kitchen. Nobody wants to come into a house and have to remodel the kitchen immediately because it's a huge amount of money. So that is, and it's also, everybody gathers there. Whoever cooks is there all the time. It has to function well. So that is a huge way to recoup more money out of your house, is to have a great kitchen. Number 2 is the primary bathroom. Same reason. It's a lot of money to remodel. It's a place that you want, you want your primary bedroom and bathroom to be like a spa, respite from the rest of the house, get away from the kids, all of that. So it's a nice thing to have done before you move in. Number 3 is curb appeal. If you think about how many times you've heard people make a snap decision about who you are by how you look within the first 10 seconds of you meeting them. It's the same with curb appeal. You drive by a house and it's not well kept up. There's not nice landscaping. There's maybe some trash sitting out or whatever. That immediately gives you, in your mind, an idea of what the interior of the house is going to look like. And you might just drive on by and not stop and take a look at it. Number 4, this one it was a little, I wasn't sure about this one. Outdoor gathering spaces. So obviously, if you're in a condo that doesn't have even a deck, then this doesn't matter. But for single family homes, people want that extension of an outdoor area to live in addition to the indoor areas to live. And number 5 is staging. Staging can make an incredible difference in how fast your house sells and for what kind of money. So we'll go into a lot of the the different ways you can stage your house to help out.
Mm. It's amazing when done right that it like staging. I renovated my backyard. I will say I'm very humble, but I will say did a good job. Came out fantastic. Didn't do all the work myself, but
Hmm.
managed it all. It was a lot of work. Wasn't planning on selling. However, when I did sell, that was the selling point. There was a lot of great
Okay.
points, but as soon
Yeah.
as they walked out to the, door the window and looked out to the backyard, it was like, oh, wow. So, yeah, same thing with what you're talking about. Somebody walks in and sees a really nice bathroom. Subconsciously, they're like, check that one off. That's
Yeah.
good stuff. Or
Yeah.
like, oh, we got one over on them. We're gonna get a good bathroom and the price is good in this house. Um, so doing it right or doing it in such a way, like you said, staging or calling in somebody like yourself to find ways to, let's say, if you are planning on selling within a few years, find ways to make it look good, but not spend a ton of money.
So yeah, let's talk a little bit about if you're getting ready for resale, either next year or within the next 2 or 3 years. The first thing I would have you do is update the kitchen a little bit. So maybe your cabinets are okay, but they're that honey oak that everybody hates, or honey maple. It's very outdated. You don't like them at all. People are not going to think they look good. So maybe we just paint the cabinets and then put on a new countertop. So countertops are not cheap, but it's a less expensive way of remodeling a kitchen than changing out the cabinets. The things that are really unhelpful in a kitchen and in an outdated kitchen are the oak cabinets that we just talked about. Tile countertops. Some people have those. It's kind of a French country look. Nobody wants them because you've got grout on your countertop. Laminate finishes, like a laminate countertop as opposed to a granite or a quartz. So those kind of things are good changes to make if you need to quickly spruce up your kitchen. Lighting is another one. Change out dated sconces above, or not sconces, pendants above your island for something that's fresh looking.
Hmm. What are some of the other things that we can look at when it comes to remodeling for resale? Because the resale thing changes things for me.
Okay. So things that people love and that help out your home are hardwood floors.
Hmm.
Bamboo flooring, on the other hand, is nobody wants bamboo flooring. So if you have hardwood floors and you're going to be selling soon, just have them buffed. Maybe if they're in really bad shape, have them refinished. But if they're not in really bad shape, they just look a little, tired, you can just have them buffed. And that'll help a lot. So
Hmm.
that's what I would do if you're getting ready to sell very quickly. But that is uh, a very important thing. Um, Shutters on the interior of your house are the only window treatment that holds its value for resale. If you think about it, if you have drapes, they're in a fabric that works really well with your furniture. Those drapes are not going to work with the next person's furniture. So they're going to think, oh, I got to buy draperies or I got to do window treatments. If you have shutters, white plantation shutters, 95% of the people in the world like shutters. You don't have to have anything else there. People can move in and say, well, maybe shutters weren't my first choice, but they look good. I'm good with them. They provide privacy. I can still get light in. They do everything they need to do. So that's a way to update a room for the window treatments and have it help you with the price of your home. Um, Another thing is a couple of things to do when you are at the point of putting it on the market. There's a 1/5 rule, 1 to 5 rule. And that is when you're going to have an open house, people are going to be walking into your home. They want to see that there's space for their things. They want to be able to envision what their things are going to look like there. And if you have jam-packed closets, you have a lot of furniture, you're more of a maximalist than a minimalist. They can't envision that because most people can't envision things very well anyway. So if you take your closets, and the rule is 1/5 of the things can stay in your closet. 4/5 have to get packed away. That might be hard to do. So you at least do, have half of your clothes in the closet. If it's summer, pack your winter clothes away so that they can see that that's a huge closet. It's not just so jam packed that it
Hmm.
looks tiny. Same with your furniture. Um, Move some of the furniture out, things that you don't need all the time, so that it looks more like the minimalist look as opposed to the maximalist look. Get at one of those pods or a storage place where you can move things out. Another easy one is paint. Paint, colors of paint are very personal. What you like, somebody else is not going to like. You might love a red dining room. Somebody may hate that. It's not going to go with their furniture. If everything is painted a crisp white, then it's a blank slate for anybody to use. It's a beautiful background for everything, and it's brand new paint, so it's all fresh and clean and looks wonderful. You can paint your trim the same or paint the trim a little different, and that's a great way to spruce up the house. Paint is less expensive than a lot of other things that you would have to do. That
Wow.
being said, there are times when paint is fine. The things that I don't worry about for resale are so much are the kids' bathrooms and the kids' rooms. Nobody cares if your kid's bathroom is not totally brand new. Their kids are going to use it and trash it anyway because they're kids. Nobody cares if the kids' rooms are painted, one of them's painted pink and one of them's painted blue, because they're going to let their kids choose whatever paint color they want in that room anyway. So I don't worry about those spaces. Same with a lower level, as long as it's neat and clean and tidy and doesn't look like there's a lot of water issues or something, then don't worry so much about that. The main areas, when you first walk in the door, your living space, your kitchen, and the primary bedroom and bath are the most critical.
I love what you said, all of that, but especially got the great visual of decluttering and getting rid of stuff, putting it somewhere. The closet, that's a big selling point. Whether
Yeah.
you have an amazing closet, a basic closet, whatever it is, but if you got so much stuff in there, the person looking at it can't get a feel for what it can be. And also, even if you're not reselling, get this stuff out of there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's decluttering is very freeing to your mind and your psyche. So that's a good thing to do regardless. So if somebody is going to just be staying for a few more years, as we said, the minor spruce up in the kitchen is great. Um, uh, Other things that you can think about doing, um, basement laundry as opposed to main floor laundry, or a laundry on the upper level. That's a huge thing to a lot of people. So if that would work in your house, that's a minor remodeling that you can do and add in that might appeal to a lot of people. So
Hmm. Um, Kitchen is such a big sell. What can you do to remodel your kitchen where it's not going to be super expensive? It's still going to look nice, but you can, let's say you're going to resell in a year, maybe two. Um, where can you, I hate to say this, cut corners, but
yeah.
still have a great effect.
Hmm.
Where would you start?
So let's assume that your cabinets are in decent shape and we don't need to paint them. Cleaning them is a big thing. A lot of people don't ever think about cleaning the front of their cabinets, and they get greasy around the where the knob is. So
Hmm.
cleaning them will make a big difference. And if there's, those little markers that are wood toned, you can,
Love them.
yeah, use those things to freshen it up a little.
Marcia, I tell you, I have a full set of those in all
Yeah,
different
they're
shades and
awesome.
tones. I've even used them. I had an ottoman that was leather. Wasn't really expensive leather, but yeah, I hardly ever, you just put your feet on it or whatever. Well, I had cats, and the cats every once in a while will go up there, and
Hmm.
then I get a scratch. So I was like, what am I going to do? Oh, yes,
Yeah, magic markers.
well, the wood the wood pens or wood paint pens in all different tones from oak to mahogany to, I just grabbed one of them that looked like the same tone, and I just would cover up the scratch, and then I would take a paper towel and just blot it off, and it covered it. You didn't even know. It was fantastic. So
Hmm.
they are especially the sides of cabinets and such, just get into a rhythm of doing it. My thing is I always use a paper towel and blot it off. Because
Yeah.
if sometimes it gets a little too dark and I'd rather blot it down and then add to it, just kind
Yeah.
of build up to the
Uh-huh.
color. But
Uh-huh.
for $5 a marker and they last for a long time, total win.
Yeah, definitely. Another easy thing to do is change out your hardware on the cabinets to
Hmm.
something that's very contemporary and up to date, as opposed to the whatever you've got on there now. That makes a huge difference. Another one on the floor, if you have a tile floor, over time grout gets dirty. You can have a company come in and clean your grout, which is not a huge expense, but it makes your floors look brand new again.
Hmm. Have a company come in and do it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
don't try it yourself.
I've tried it in two houses, hands and knees, toothbrush,
Yeah,
grout
yeah,
cleaner, this, that, the other. Yeah, you get it cleaner, but it for all the effort and even the expense of buying stuff and the time you put into it, well, let a professional do it. So
yeah,
worth it.
yeah. Another easy one in the kitchen, if you don't have under cabinet lighting, you can add those little puck lights or the ones that you don't, they're battery operated. So when you go to, that's a huge thing to have is that task lighting in your kitchen. And if you don't have it, if you can put in the real thing easily, then that's great. But if not, those little puck lights are great because when you do an open house, you want to have every light in your house lit. You need them all on so people come in and it's like well lit, everything's in its place and clutter free. It looks beautiful. And having that task lighting in your kitchen is something that everybody wants to have anyway. So,
Hmm. Yeah, lighting, good point. That's for minimal nowadays, minimal cost
mhm.
in even programmable lighting where you can change the colors and things like that. And let's just right out to the outside of your home,
Yeah, good
putting
landscape lighting.
oh my gosh. And don't be afraid. You can do it cost effectively.
Hmm.
You're not going to get a shock. It's low voltage. So, you know, there's so much I drive by and I look at some houses. I'm like, wow, look at that house. And like, it's all in the lighting.
Yeah,
And it's just a little labor intensive, just, digging a trench, running the line through, and also above and beyond all of that, thinking about where the lights are going to go underneath,
right.
some windows and shoot them up.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fun stuff. That's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. And inside, think about the ugly lights that are on your hallway ceilings or the extra bedroom ceilings, the basic boob lights that everybody hates. Just changing those out to something interesting is makes people realize that you cared about your home. So it's doesn't have to
Hmm.
be expensive. You can find interesting fixtures at a place like Home Depot for those areas where you're not trying to do a statement piece like your dining room chandelier, but just to not have those ugly old builder grade fixtures that were in your home when you bought it.
Pinnacle point, I believe you just brought up in that showing that you care about your home. So if you make these slight changes, cleaning the closets up, neatening the place up, just in general, sends a message that you care. You took care of
Hmm.
everything there, as opposed to just it was a free for all and it's a mess. And I don't know what I'm gonna if I buy this place, I don't know what I'm gonna encounter. Um, I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, it does. And two things that I want to highlight that are not so much about what everybody sees in your home, but more about a safety thing. Take all the day before you have open houses or before you put it on the market. Take all the family photos out. You don't want people to see how young your kids are or what they look like because you never know what kind of crazy person is going to walk through your house on an open house trying to scope it out. Same with your good jewelry or things
Hmm.
like that are very expensive. They need to be in a safe or take them out of the house with you so that somebody can't steal those while they're at your open house.
I'm going to laser this and share with you. And this is to your point, something I encountered in the last month. So I'm in between homes, waiting for the market to change, renting now, was looking to rent, another home. Saw one show up, almost too good to be true in the price. I lived in that neighborhood. I'm like, I just got to look at it. So I make the appointment. I go there. There's no homeowner. I get them on the phone. Yeah, just go in, take a look, and then then we'll talk. I walk in. I'm like, for the price, I was like, I'll take it now. I'll take it. What happened was the people that own the home were actually selling it. I did some research and found that out. There are some real estates, it's called any key or open key, where you
Red
can just,
key.
yes, you can
Yeah.
just, where there's no real agent
Yeah.
involved,
Yeah.
where people gain access to go in. Somebody saw that, gained access, started advertising for rent. And the reason they did it was that after you say, I'll take it, no problem. They want you to give them a $55 fee to run a credit check. And then once you agree to it, yeah, we're going to pick you. All right, you know what? Sell me the down payment.
Yeah.
And I actually called
Yeah.
up the real estate that was involved in this home, and they put me onto their fraud division. And this goes on all the time. So,
hmm
and this was a house that had belongings in it, by the way. So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
you got to be careful. But
That's scary. So I have one other thing that is some people are allergic to cats. Some people
mm,
just don't like cats. If you before your open house, remove the litter boxes. Remove the cat toys, remove the litter boxes, remove the bowls. Same with a dog, you can clean up all of that stuff, but especially with cats, people don't if they don't like cats, they don't want to know that there's a litter box in there and thinking that the cats have peed somewhere.
really good point. What about the old classic, the fragrance? You know,
Oh, yeah. Before an open house, I would light a candle for an hour, or before, if you know someone's coming and you have to leave, light a candle for half an hour or an hour, not something that's extremely floral, something that's just a muted like vanilla or something like that is something everybody likes. And then, just turn it off before you leave so that it
mm,
smells good.
yeah, it's funny how we went from remodeling right to the resale.
Yeah.
But you know what? It You want to get them, and that's it too. You want to get the most you can. And I've always, anytime I've sold anything, I've always made it the most presentable it can
hmm
be, because I believe that can move the needle in terms of the price.
And if you're going to hire a stager, which
Mm,
I think is a really good idea to do if you don't have any of those genes yourself to do that kind of thing, listen to what your stager, what the person tells you and do it. I was staging a home for a guy once, and then when you walk in the front door, it was sponge painted in red tones, the hallway right inside the front door. And then it was wall to wall, ceiling to floor artwork on top of red sponge painted walls. And I said, you need to get rid of the artwork and paint the whole hallway white. He wouldn't do it because he just loved that. And it was that first impression of this house was, oh my God, this is hideous. And it took him forever to sell his house. So if they tell you to do something, do it. They
yep.
know what they're talking about.
That guy definitely needed to get you 911 on speed dial for sure.
Yeah.
Marcia, if somebody's looking to not just remodel for resale, but if they're just looking to change their home, redesign things, get a kind of fresh look for things. A lot of us are staying in our homes because uh, you can't go anywhere because the home prices are so high, interest
Mhm.
rates are so high. How do we find you?
MarciaMooreDesign.com. Marcia is spelled Marcia. Moore. Design is singular, no S on the end.
Always great talking with you. Love your, the freshness of your ideas and how you laser it and get to the clarity. Love talking with you. I'm looking forward
Thanks.
next time we get
Me
together.
too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.